right now at 10. A day of honoring.
We were there for 7 children. Nothing could be more honorable.
Reflecting.
It's beyond words of what you guys have done for us, and we'll never forget it.
And remembering.
Empire to 45-183, 45-176, firefighter 83. May you forever rest in peace.
A somber and moving farewell for 3 fallen heroes from those who knew them best, and a community now bonded through tragedy, standing by with support. KARE 11 News at 10 starts now.
Well, tonight the sun has set on a long, emotional day after thousands of people said goodbye to 3 fallen heroes.
Today, a tearful memorial and a somber procession honoring officers Paul Elmstrand and Matthew Ruge and firefighter-paramedic Adam Finseth. We start at that memorial, where we learn more about the 3 men in uniform and off-duty.
Danny Spiewak joins us with a look at what people who knew them had to say. Danny?
Randy and Julie, the past 10 days have been taxing for the families, for first responders across the state, and for the public. Today, a crowd of thousands got a chance to pay tribute in what may have been the largest memorial service of its kind in Minnesota history. On this cold February morning, silence filled the air of Grace Church in Eden Prairie.
We welcome you to our service today, where we grieve the loss and honor the memories of Paul Elmstrand, Matt Ruge, and Adam Finseth.
All 3 were raised right here in Minnesota.
Let's pay tribute and celebrate the lives
and forge their own paths into public service.
These 3 men really were the nicest people.
Deputy Chief Matt Smith served on the Burnsville Police Force with Paul Elmstrand, who joined the department in 2017.
Paul had a laugh that was infectious, and it's been said that perhaps Paul's favorite comedian to induce this laugh was Paul.
The father of 2 grew up on a farm in North Branch and married his high school sweetheart.
Perhaps the theme that has come up most this week is Paul's love for his family. He absolutely adored Cindy, Maria, and Mateo.
Elmstrand's fellow officer Matthew Ruge was newer to Burnsville PD, starting during COVID in April 2020.
That it was impossible not to love Ruge. He was smart, self-deprecating, quick-witted.
It didn't take long for Ruge to work his way onto the crisis negotiation team.
And he was a perfect fit for this role.
Officer Pete Mueller says Ruge spent hours negotiating with the shooter on February 18th and risked his own life trying to save Elmstrand after he'd been shot.
And it is unacceptable that Matt did not go home that morning. The loss that his family and friends feel is unbearable.
Ruge's uncle Michael spoke for the family.
It's really hard, and we're trying to wrap our heads around what happened, and it makes no sense.
Adam Finseth's father, Brad, expressed a similar sentiment through prayer.
No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends.
Finseth joined Burnsville as a firefighter-paramedic in 2019. He was an Army veteran who had served 2 tours in Iraq.
Adam was one of the most selfless individuals I have ever had the privilege of knowing.
Burnsville Fire Captain Brandon Johansson offered a message to Finseth's wife.
We will offer unwavering support and love in moments of uncertainty and fear.
And to his 2 kids.
I need to tell you that your papa is a hero. He loves you very much.
3 deaths in the line of duty is hard to explain.
Paul, Matt, Adam, they were lost unexpectedly, violently, unfairly. So now we pray for their families.
The service drew a massive audience today, both in person at the church in Eden Prairie and through a live stream at an overflow location in Burnsville. In all, we're told that more than 10,000 people attended, according to the Minnesota Department of Public Safety, plus tens of thousands more watching streams online from home. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Danny. Today, we heard for the first time from Sergeant Adam Medlicott, who was also shot when the 3 died on that day. In a powerful moment in today's memorial, he shared more about the relationship he had with Officers Elmstrand and Ruge, including training them when they joined the department.
I am Sergeant Adam Medlicott of the Burnsville Police Department. I would like to talk briefly, share a few stories about my partners and friends, Paul Elmstrand and Matthew Ruge. I supervised both of them on nights and was standing with them on their final call. I was one of Paul's field training officers. Paul was not a shy person. Recently, he had been talking to me about the open sergeant position he was considering putting in. He was asking questions about the testing process and what it was like to be a sergeant. Chief, I think Paul would have made an excellent sergeant. I remember the very first call I went on with Matthew Ruge. I was training a new officer, and Matt had just completed field training himself. I was standing next to him on his last call. I believed in him as a crisis negotiator, and everyone here should know he was doing an amazing job of it. You can't reason with evil. I was fortunate enough to watch both of these officers go full circle. From two wide-eyed, excited new cops to an officer who knew the job so well he was ready to promote, and another who had just taken over a scene for multiple hours as a crisis negotiator. Elmstrand, Ruge, Finseth, we were there for 7 children. Nothing could be more honorable. Rest easy, brothers.
After the memorial, the caskets were taken to hearses with thousands of people, law enforcement, firefighters, EMS, family, friends, community members, all looking on. That was followed by a 3-volley salute, a tradition for fallen military and police officers, and a flyover, including 3 helicopters from State Patrol, Lifelink, and North Memorial Hospital.
Thousands of people who weren't at the memorial braved the cold, lining several miles of South Metro roads and highways to say goodbye, as a procession of nearly 1,500 fire trucks, police cars, and ambulances passed. Sammy Salina spoke to some of the people who showed up today.
These guys put their lives at risk every day.
Streets they protected are now lined with people they served.
This whole community has been just down and just sad. You can see it in people's faces.
Here they come. See, here comes the hearse.
They honor officers Matthew Ruge and Paul Elmstrand and firefighter paramedic Adam Finseth.
Thank you.
Heroes who sacrificed themselves for Burnsville.
We want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
And along with their brothers and sisters, the community they gave their lives to thanks them and says goodbye.
But it's just really disappointing how those 3 had to die that day.
It's a road they knew would be dangerous, but traveled it regardless.
My signs say, we support officers.
Annie Yang says if those officers gave the ultimate sacrifice,
they protect us.
She could stand in the cold. Her sister hopes they know how loved they are.
Well, I think they're watching us in Earth.
She feels better seeing how many first responders are with those fallen heroes and their families.
It made me feel flabbergasted.
They say they will continue protecting these streets and the people who stand along them.
It's incredible.
Remembering their comrades' dedication to the road they chose and the people they sacrificed for. Sammy Salina, KARE 11 News.
If you missed today's memorial and you want to watch it in its entirety, you can find it on our KARE 11 YouTube page.
We'll be back in a few minutes with news of the day, but before we go to break, more sights and sounds from today.
It's too bad that it has to be tragedy that brings us together like this.
It's just a sad thing. We just want to be here for support, so the family knows that, you know, we're thinking about them.
It's just heartbreaking. So you don't expect that to happen.
We welcome you to our service today, where we grieve the loss and honor the memories of Paul Elmstrand, Matt Ruge, and Adam Finseth.
Elmstrand, Ruge, Finseth. We were there for 7 children. Nothing could be more honorable. Rest easy, brothers.
I think the entire department would attest that it was impossible not to love Ruge. He was smart, self-deprecating, quick-witted, humble, and last year I watched Matt become a trustworthy resource for his partners, both old and new.
Paul had a laugh that was infectious, and it's been said that perhaps Paul's favorite comedian to induce this laugh was Paul. Paul truly was one of the nicest guys. We're gonna miss him.
Adam, I know you're up there in heaven probably looking down and thinking, this is all too much. Well, brother, you deserve it. You are the best of us. We love you. We miss you. We promise to take care of the family and each other. Your legacy and impact will live on forever.
As I struggled to make sense of what happened that morning, I was reminded that Paul, Matt, and Adam were doing what they were called to do, protecting those in harm's way. They give up their lives to protect others and to protect each other. These brave men took an oath to keep the community safe, and that's exactly what they did that morning they died. I will be forever grateful for their sacrifice.
All units, Officer Matthew Ruge, Badge 45183, Officer Paul Elmstrand, Badge 45176, and Firefighter Adam Finseth, Badge number 83, have answered their final call. Their sacrifice will not be forgotten.